I am back with another video, but this time I am talking a little bit about my pregnancy. I am 15 weeks pregnant as of March 28th. It has been a roller coaster. Okay, that's kind of the best way to put it. I'm gonna try not to get emotional, but talking about Hyperemesis Gravidarum or HG can be a very tough topic to talk about. And I do have some notes just so I can kind of stay on track and, educate as much as possible and to share my experience. So for those who don't know, when a woman is pregnant, they experience morning sickness, and that's just basically when people think of morning sickness, they think of waking up every morning, going to the bathroom, throwing up once or twice a day, and that's it. Well, if you have Hyperemesis Gravidarum, or HG, what I'm going to call it for the rest of this time, there's no such thing as throwing up once or twice a day, and it's not morning sickness. Anyone who says HG is morning sickness, they do not understand what it is. So HG can basically be described as constant vomiting that leads to dehydration, weight loss, and sometimes if it's not treated, it could lead to death. So I did ask people some questions on my Instagram just to see, what did they want to know about HG, because I have shared it on my Instagram platforms, my Twitter, and my Facebook once I took a hiatus from work. And a lot of people was just like, what is HG? I've never heard of this before. Like, I'm sorry you're going through this, but a lot of people wanted to know exactly, what it is. So, of course, the symptoms of HG, the first one off rip is vomiting. So again, it's not you go once or twice a day to the bathroom. You basically live in the bathroom. Like, seriously, you're literally there all the time. Some people throw up probably about 6-7 times a day. Some people have the extreme form where they can throw up at least 17 times a day. So with HG, there's no specific number, but the toilet becomes your best friend. Or for me, it was a bucket. Like that's what I did. I had to throw up in a trash can. That was how I kept comfortable. Some other things are extreme fatigue, dizziness, and not able to keep food or drinks down. Now, I want to talk a little bit about that later because, again, HG is not morning sickness. It's not something that you can just treat with eating ginger or drinking ginger tea or eating not graham crackers, but saltine crackers. There's nothing that you can eat or drink that will help you when you first have HG. So as far as treatment, HG is still fairly new. So there is no, I go to the doctor says, all right, you have HG, we're going to go ahead and give you X, Y, and Z, you'll be good by next week. It doesn't work like that at all. You can manage it with IV treatments or with medications. Now, a lot of people are very iffy about using medications while they're pregnant because, some people just don't feel comfortable with it. They think it's going to affect the baby. A lot of times women with HG, there's no other option but to use medication. And on top of that, because there is no actual cure, you're literally just trying different medications to see what is going to work for you so you can at least get up for the day. And just to name a few, sometimes, like I said, the IV treatments, you go in, you get IVs put, in your arm. If you see my arms, the scars are kind of clearing up now, but I would say I probably have gotten poked like like 7 different times, and I've gotten 13 IV treatments since February, I think 9th or 3rd, since February 9th. Yes, 13 IV treatments. There's also a combination of vitamin B and Unisum, and basically Unisum is like a sleeping medicine that, you know, helps you go to sleep, but if you have to work, you kind of can't take that during the day. Diclegis is another one, Phenergan, and then Zofran is a popular one, but depending on your medical provider, like mine, they will not prescribe it to you in your first trimester because of previous research saying that it could affect the baby it could affect the baby in the first trimester. So they usually prescribe it in the second trimester. And the last way that people deal with HG when it comes to managing it, some moms have to get have to pump the medicine through their stomach. So they have like this little device on their stomach. You can basically treat yourself at home. You have to get the medications from the pharmacy or from your doctor's office, and you basically just inject yourself. You're taking a needle and sticking it in your stomach to give yourself the medicine. So those are just, you know, some of the options. And again, it's kind of just like you're just playing Russian roulette to see which one isn't going to work. It's going to work. There's no one fits all for everyone. So how many people actually get HG? So looking at research, about 2 to 3% of women are diagnosed with HG, but that number could actually be higher. And again, that number could be higher because a lot of people don't know what HG is, or they just think, oh, this is just part of pregnancy. I'm throwing up, like I just have to deal with it type situation. But you have to look for those key signs of, you know, going to the bathroom, throwing up multiple times a day. That's really the first trigger in your mind is, okay, I'm going to the bathroom about 7 times a day. I can't live like this. Like you just, everything is just kind of stops around you because you can't do anything because you're always in the bathroom. So that's one of the reasons that a lot of women probably don't know. And then of course, you know, when you start getting malnutrition because you can't eat or drink anything, you could get acute renal failure and also low blood sugar. And the severe forms is basically preterm labor, stillbirth, and preeclampsia. Now, talking about my situation, HG really started for me around week 8, and that is just when everything just kind of like, okay, something is wrong, something is going on. I need to go to the doctor. And I ended up going to the emergency room first, but they didn't know anything. They were just like, oh, you know, you're just dehydrated type situation, or that was basically it. But for me, I knew it was something serious when I had to keep calling out of work. Now, like I've mentioned before, you know, I am a news reporter. We are always on the go. You know, we drive ourselves places. We have to carry equipment. We have to set up our cameras. We have to do like basically everything by ourselves. And I could not get out the bed. I could not get out. I couldn't put myself together. I couldn't eat anything. Like, you know, I started with the saltine crackers and trying to, you know, drink a 7-Up or something. I do not like ginger ale at all. It's disgusting. It is disgusting. But, you know, I tried the ginger ale. Tried the 7-Up. I tried Sprite. I just tried like everything. And of course, I tried to drink water. And the water kept coming up. Saltine started to taste disgusting. I'm like, okay, let me try some oatmeal. Tried bananas. Everything just started to just taste gross. I started to get that real, you know, that pregnancy nose where everything starts to smell bad. You know, you can't be around certain smells. Seasonings was just, I couldn't smell anything. It was disgusting. And then it started to get worse where I couldn't get in the shower. Like, I was going days without actually getting in the shower because I didn't have any energy. I couldn't brush my teeth because every time I would brush my teeth, I would have to throw up. And at that time, it was just like, okay, well, I have to figure out how I'm going to get to work. And I talked to my doctor's office, and my doctor's office was like, okay, like, we see that, you're just not being able to function. And I started to worry about, me calling out, because some jobs, you have PTO and you only have a limited amount of PTO, and I'm using like so many sick days, and I'm like, okay, so am I going to have any days left when it comes to maternity leave? And it's sad that you have to actually think about that. Like, you literally can't take off of work because you're really not feeling good, because you have to worry about 9 months or 8 months down the line if you're going to be able to take off for your pregnancy. It's sad. That's a whole nother situation. But the big thing about HG is it can really take a toll on you. Of course, physically, because a lot of people, you're fatigued, you're tired, you can't get out of bed, you can't move, and the only time you can is when you have to run to the bathroom to throw up. But it can also affect you mentally. And, you think about the pain of throwing up, your voice is sore. At some point, I had posted on my Twitter, like, hey y'all, if you hear me on the news and I sound like a man or whatever, it's because I'm constantly throwing up. And it was sad for me to say that, but it was just like, it just that that's what happened. And in some women, they kind of burst their vessels in their throat because they're throwing up so much, and they start throwing up blood. So that's for some people. But as far as mentally goes, the mentality of having HG, I had someone tell me that they had a friend who suffered from it during their pregnancy, and their first thought was termination. And, I'm not going to say if it's right or wrong, because that's that's to each his own. But, those are thoughts that you think of, is, can I actually get through this? Like, am I going to be able to continue this for the next 8-7 months before this baby comes? Am I physically going to be able to, carry this baby with all this going on? Because with HG, you never know when it's going to stop. Sometimes it stops in your second trimester, between 14 and 20 weeks, around that time frame. It can stop for people, but some women have HG for their whole pregnancy. So just think about being miserable the entire time. You're not enjoying anything. And that's kind of what it was like for me at first, was, okay, am I ever going to be able to enjoy my pregnancy? Me and my husband have been trying to get pregnant for like the past year. And with PCOS, that I've, shared on my social media platforms before, there's no guarantee that you will get pregnant with PCOS. So I'm like, okay, this is supposed to be a joy. This is supposed to be a time like where we're celebrating, where we're happy and all this stuff. But my happiness was basically cut short because I was suffering from HG. Some other things about HG is that it does take a toll on your work life. And a lot of us are working. We're in a pandemic right now where people can't afford to lose their jobs. But HG can get to the point where if you don't have enough sick days, or you don't have a job that's understanding and can't accommodate you, you can be fired, or you have to quit your job because you physically can't go and fulfill your duties. So those are just some of the type of issues that women have to go through and have to really strategize and think about. And it can also affect people for future pregnancies. I know that looking at research, most of the time, there's some women who have their first child, they don't have HG, but they have a second child, and then they get HG, and then they just continue on from there. So me, for example, because I have HG in my first pregnancy, there's a very high risk that I'm going to have it again if I wanted to have another child. And it can definitely scar people. Some people say it's like a PTSD situation where, you know, even thinking about having a second child after suffering from HG is kind of just like non-existent, because you don't want to go through all of that pain and all that worry and everything again. So that's some of the things. And going back to weight loss, for me, I started off this pregnancy at 240 pounds. 240, to me, you know, that's obesity to doctors, and it's definitely too heavy for me, because, you know, I've been trying to lose weight forever, but I just can't get in the gym. But because I wasn't able to eat or drink anything, the fundamentals of having water, you know, like water that's supposed to keep you hydrated, that you're supposed to drink every day, I am now about 215. So from 240 pounds to 215 pounds. And that's only within the last month that I've lost 25 pounds. And it's a red flag for my physicians, because they're like, you know, you have to start gaining some weight. And so we're working on that right now. As you can see, like, I've been able to get some energy. Like, I literally have not had any type of energy. I can walk in the house and lose my breath. I can get in the shower. I can't stand in the shower for that long. I'll start to feel dizzy. What else? Literally, I could just, you know, walk down the hallway or go to the garage, like we're going towards our, you know, getting ready to go to a doctor's appointment, and I'm literally out of breath. And it's still kind of like that right now, but it's starting to get better. Currently, I just had to go on a new medication, which is a Zofran, because I'm now in my second trimester, and it's definitely helped me. I know that I'm starting to get more headaches. I don't know if it's from the Zofran itself, or it's just, you know, pregnancy headaches, because they do happen. So I'm monitoring that, but I will say that I do have more energy, but the issue still comes of eating certain foods, still having that dizziness, you know, not being able to really do everything I can to live, you know, a normal life and you know, enjoy this pregnancy. So I'm hoping within the next couple weeks things can change, but I really just wanted to share my story, because, you know, a lot of people don't know about this, and I know me trying to research online, you know, I'm seeing stories from like years ago, or I'm not seeing people that look like me share their stories a lot. And so I wanted to go ahead and share my story and just share that support is so important during this HG journey. My husband and my mom have been like amazing, like just wonderful. Like my husband, you know, he's literally had to, you know, check on me, listen to me throw up all the time, you know, throw the trash bags away for me having to throw up. Like, it's disgusting. And I'm just like, babe, I love you. Like, this is why I married you. Like, you taking care of me through sickness and health. And he's just been so supportive. Anything that I need, he's like, you know, anything I want to try. Right now, you know, Coca-Cola has been my best friend, and I barely can drink water still. But at this point, it's kind of like whatever you can keep down, do it, eat it, drink it, try it. So that's been a joy. I've been able to eat like a little bit of pasta, very light meat. Can't eat steak, can't eat any Mexican food. Like, I miss that. Miss going to Texas Roadhouse to get some steak. Like, steak is my favorite food, if you didn't realize. I can't have Starbucks. Like, Starbucks, if y'all know me, you know, news people, we drink Starbucks a lot. No donuts, no anything. I mean, granted, you know, I don't need to be eating all that sugary stuff, but it's definitely been an adjustment. And my mom, again, she's helped a lot, and she took care of me for, you know, helped take care of me for 2 weeks to give my husband a little break, because he's been there the whole time helping. But, you know, anybody that's suffering from HG out there, just find you someone or a group of people that is going to support you, that can understand you. And those who have friends or family members suffering from HG, for me, the most important thing is please don't insert yourself into the situation as far as trying to give advice on morning sickness. Like, that has been like the most irritating thing. And people know me as being very active on social media, or Facebook, especially with, you know, my closer friends and family. And anytime I post something about, you know, an update about how I feel or whatever, sometimes people like to insert themselves and be like, oh, well, you know, you should just try some soup, or you should just try some ginger ale. And I'm just like, baby girl, I just said I can't eat that. I just said I can't do this. So no, when someone is going through, you know, HG, just ask them, do you need anything? You know, is there something that you need? Just know that I'm here to support you. Just know I'm here if you need somebody to talk to. Because at a certain point, I wasn't talking to anyone. That was another thing. I wasn't talking to anyone. I wasn't texting anyone. I wasn't calling anyone. I wasn't on social media. Like, I had to, you know, at the beginning of March, I think it was March 3rd. That's when I had to go on short-term disability because I was not able to function, you know, do anything. And it was like I just kind of shut down. So it really takes a physical and mental toll on, you know, the expectant mother. So just be there for them. Ask them, you know, what is your favorite thing that you can eat right now? Do you need me to send you something? I know one of my former co-workers, she sent me a little care package with, you know, little relaxation stuff for the tub and tea and all that. And it's just the little stuff like that that counts. So just be there for whoever is going through that. And I did have one other question from someone asking, is HG a genetic? Is HG genetic? And looking at research, there's some research to suggest that it is, and that it has to do with hormones, and it has to deal with possible family history of nausea and vomiting. I know when I asked my mom about it, she said she had really bad nausea and vomiting when she was pregnant with me. But, you know, back in 1994, no one knew what a HG was. So she doesn't know if she had it. And other research suggests that obesity might be an issue, but looking at people's stories, not everybody is obese. So there's definitely still some research that needs to be done on what is causing this, and of course an actual cure or treatment that can help women get through this, because feeling like you're alone and helpless and all that stuff just really takes a toll on you. And so again, I just wanted to share my story. I'm going to leave 2 links down below to 2 websites, hyperemesis.org and raredisease.org, I think it's called. And it just kind of gives you an outline of what hyperemesis is and, you know, what research has found so far. But I really hope that you all enjoyed this. Again, this is just kind of a raw me discussing what's going on. If you have any questions, let me know. Like I said, I'm doing all right. And we call the baby M right now. We find out if it's a boy or a girl on April 21st. So we're excited about that. And that's pretty much it. So make sure you share this. I really hope that, you know, if you know anybody going through this right now, that they can just kind of listen to the story. Make sure that they seek medical attention and know that it is not just morning sickness. If you are not feeling good, if you just can't get through the day, if you just don't know what's going on, please seek medical attention, because it's important, and there are some things that can help you. All right. So I hope you all enjoy this video, share it, and I hope you all have a good one.